Welcome to Proving Grounds. I'm Andrew, and today we're going to talk about Patrick Bobilin. Now, Patrick Bobilin was arrested for allegedly smashing someone's windshield with some kind of object. Now, he claims this vehicle was rampaging through the city and had been weaponized against people just civilly protesting in the street, just peacefully minding their business, doing their protest thing, and enacting their First Amendment rights. And his body, not his mind, his body, just instincts, thrust him into action. He had no choice but to rush in front of a moving vehicle that he claims was going to run people down and stop it by apparently grabbing the hood and stopping the vehicle through main strength, right? Through the power of his mighty thews. Yeah, I use the word thews, right? Amazing feat, superhuman. This guy must be born from the stuff of gods. And I urge you, go look at his images. Look up Patrick Bobilin from NewYork.com. Look up at the pictures of him. You'd be amazed the kind of strength, the sheer virility, and that incredibly frail-looking form. I mean, the guy's got thighs smaller than my wrist, man. And he managed to stop this oncoming vehicle. And, if a windshield gets smashed, it gets smashed, right? One of his buddies actually says he's a hero. Damn, a hero. Now, of course, the other guy, the villain of this tale apparently, says, and according to police, he was just minding his own business, driving down the road, and there was a protest going on in the street, so I'm sure traffic was going slow. Stops at an intersection, light turns green, proceeds to go incredibly slowly because he doesn't want to run anybody over. And two people run in front of his car, start smashing on the hood, and his windshield gets broken. One of these people was Patrick Bobilin, right? When he was allegedly broke the windshield. What's crazy about this is this guy, one, is not apologetic about it at all, right? Thinks it's completely okay for this to have happened. It's completely okay that he was helping to stop traffic because, and I quote, civil disobedience and protests require marshaling and stopping of cars because they disrupt traffic. It just happens. You're disrupting traffic and you're going to have to stop cars. Yeah, it happens. What's incredible about this, really, is that he's running for assembly for the 76th district, which is, I believe, Manhattan. This man, who says he's a democratic socialist, wants to have a hand in crafting legislation and running the government and helping to, having an influence in your life, your daily life. And he believes it's okay to violate the rights of others to promote his ideology, to promote his brand of politics. Think about that. Someone who thinks it's okay to violate your rights wants to be a politician, at least from your district, and have a direct hand in the day-to-day operations of the government. I can only think about it. Just, can you imagine the kinds of things he would like to enact? Right? Lucky for us, he has a website, and I got to take a look at his platform. And first thing he says is he's an advocate for social justice. Right? Oh, good old social justice again. Because you can't just have regular justice where, you protect people's rights, where the government focuses on protecting you from force, from other people, right? And it's supposed to protect your rights, which it acknowledges as a prerequisite for you to live a free and flourishing life as a human being on this planet, to be able to pursue your values as a living being, as a living human being. A fully recognized, integrated human being. That's not good enough. Someone like Patrick Bobilin, right? Because human beings are inherently flawed, which is true. Any system in which human beings engage in is going to be imperfect, right? We can always make it better, which I will agree with. But according to him, we need social justice. What does social justice do? It collectivizes everybody into little groups, assigns each group certain attributes largely against our will, and then decides what justice should be based on what group you belong to and its level of victimhood status or oppressor status, right? Because we have to make everything equitable. Once again, remember talking about someone who says they're a socialist. So obviously, they're going back to this critical theory, critical race theory nonsense, mostly Marxist propaganda, and they think they're going to make things equitable because they'll just look at numbers and go, it's not fair that certain groups of people get arrested more than others. My issue with this is, for one, it completely discounts the individual and the individual choices we all make. Every human being makes their own choices, and a lot of those choices, actually all of them, have consequences. You engage in criminal activity, you get arrested, you go to jail or prison. Those are your choices. You may choose to invest in yourself, get a good education, or a skilled trade, right? Become a productive human being. Live your life as best you can, and you mostly end up what? Not going to prison, doing all right. Some people do incredibly well. They're incredibly productive human beings and then become millionaires and billionaires, right? Some people get to have generational wealth handed down to them. Some of whom take that generational wealth and grow it. Some, well, they blow it away, right? But I digress. Let's continue. Bobilin also wants rent control, basically of all kinds, right? The first kind they talk about is commercial rent control, because he claims that too many businesses are going out of business or being shut down because of exorbitant rent, out of control rent, no rent control. He said, if we had rent control, this wouldn't happen. The COVID-19 shows the rent was out of control, too high. Right? Too high. COVID-19, in conjunction with high rent, ran businesses out of town. Made them shut down. It had nothing to do with Andrew Cuomo, Bill de Blasio, Mr. Wilhelm himself, and the entire New York State legislature giving one man ultimate authority of what to do with the economy all the way through April of 2021. The same man who shut down the entire state economy. Let that sink in. One man got to decide to shut down and keep the state economy shut down. And then when they finally reopen it, decide we're going to keep screwing with the economy and screwing with small businesses, telling people, telling bars that what constitutes as food, restaurants what constitutes as food, telling wedding venues what constitutes as food, whether or not a daughter could dance with her own father and how many people can be there, how many people can be in the restaurant. You have to wear a mask in public because science says so, even though the science doesn't show you're protecting yourself because you have to protect others. It's your obligation to sacrifice your freedom, a little bit of your freedom, to protect others from you. Because your breathing constitutes a clear and present danger to the lives of every other human being around you just by virtue of you breathing. Yeah. None of that has anything to do with it. Just COVID hit, high rent. Well, he also says you need to have a vacancy tax. So these businesses that were run out of, that were shut down due to COVID-19 and high rent, if the lot stays empty for too long, they should get charged a tax. I'm assuming this bill, they'll drop the price of rent, so anyone, they just get someone in there. Never mind the fact that the government's been messing with the economy. Never mind the fact that it's their property. That the landlord, he owns the property and should have a right to charge whatever the market will bear. And if currently the market won't bear the price he wants, he has two options. Don't rent, or rent to someone that will pay that amount. The concept of rent control, that the government should have control over how much you can or cannot charge for rent, right? That assumes that the landlord and the renter are not engaging in a consensual relationship, right? I'm the landlord. I have a property I want to rent out to somebody. You have a business. You want to rent it. We meet, come to an agreement, make a contract, sign it. It's a consensual relationship.